Hi and welcome. In today's tutorial video, we're gonna discuss common maths mistakes. Now, these type of maths mistakes is what most people commonly make in the examination. So, what we want to do is we're gonna look at a few common maths mistakes. Now, remember, in maths, it's very easy for you to make a mistake without even knowing it. This is a basic equation you came across after doing your complex solving, and they ask you to solve it. Now, in an exam condition, you can easily, if you want to do this in your head, some people want to do this in one step. It's easy to say under exam conditions 5/2, it's easy to say that, but then, is this correct? Do you think that this answer is correct? No, it looks correct, but it's not. It's wrong, simply because you forgot about the sign over here. This once it goes that side, it becomes -2, and then you divide by 2. As a result, your answer will be half. So many people make this mistake. It's one of the stupid mistakes so far that's called in many different types of examination. So therefore, what we do in this step to overcome these results, I'm going to show you a step that will help you and give you some tips and tricks that will make you overcome this mistake when you write in your maths paper. Now, the trick here is always, when you're doing this here, let me just get rid of this here. So now we got this. Now, to save time, this seems simple to solve, but to save time, what you need to do is write it down. The most trivial steps, you write it down. Every step, write it down. This is what you're gonna do. You ensure that you write it down. Don't waste time. You won't be wasting time, you'll be saving. It could make a difference between you passing or failing, or getting a distinction or not a distinction. So always make sure that you write it down. Now you can even write this here down, where you divide in both sides by 2. Divide it by 2 and then you get your answer half. You might want to solve certain problems in one step, but I highly recommend for you to get the highest possible marks ever is always to write each step. Let's look at the next one. Now, in this step here, you might want to say x is equal to, you want to solve this quickly, but the most common mistake most people will make, that I find when I noticed previous exam questions, is that students sometimes will write, well, I can see the answer in one step here, but now they get confused with this 3. Sometimes they'll leave it out. Sometimes they don't even write it. More so, sometimes they get confused with the 9. Sometimes they'll say they understand that they have to do cross multiplication here, but then what they do is they mess it up in the end. Normally what they'll say is that they don't look at the question properly, and as a result what they'll do is sometimes they'll say 3 multiplied by 9 all over 5, because of this 5 being in the denominator. But that's wrong. It should be the other way around, the 3 and the 5. The correct answer for that should be the 5 supposed to be in this position here, because you cross multiply and then you divide by 3. You notice cross multiplication the opposite way around. Now this is just some simple mistakes, and if you're wondering why you did not get that marks that you was expecting, it's because you overlooked these steps here. Because you'll say that you understood everything in the paper, where did you lose your marks? This here is evidence of you losing your marks. Let's look at another problem. Now, when it comes to like terms, many students, this is a simple one. Those are the like terms, you add that up. Sometimes many students will add that up and write down the 3. They get confused because they're rushing an exam condition. So therefore what you do is you group each term together like I did here. You'll underline it, also say that it's like terms. That's how you prevent yourself from losing marks. You can use a different color pen, such as, let's say we have something like this. Now in this case here, they'll get confused. They either leave this here out and they don't see that there, that's like terms. They'll add these 2 together and then that'll be wrong, but it's this term and this term. Always remember, look at the 2, look at the power, and then you underline it to say it's the same like terms. If we had another, for example, we're continuing with this equation, yeah, continuing, let's say minus 4x equal to 0. Next step is they'll mark this like term, they'll mark that like term. I'll see it in the question paper, but then when it comes, they'll say this plus this is 7x, which is wrong, because what they are doing is they are not taking this negative sign into consideration. So what they need to do is say 3 minus 4, it's not plus. That's where they get confused. So as a result, this will be minus 1. So these are just common mistakes that people make. Very important one is the negative sign. Always make sure that you check properly that it's a negative sign when you solving this type of problem, to make sure that you always get your marks where needed. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos and tips and tricks to help you achieve your best results possible. I'll be uploading more content daily for you to watch and just go through, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.